The Rosetta Stone is one of the most famous ancient objects in the world. It sits in the British Museum today, but its story begins over 2,000 years ago in Egypt. This stone is not just a piece of rock. It holds secrets, legends, and mysteries from a time when gods walked among men and kings ruled as divine beings. Long ago, Egypt was a land of great power, ruled by pharaohs who were believed to be gods in human form. They built towering pyramids, grand temples, and wrote their history on walls and stones. But as time passed, a knowledge of how to read their sacred writings was lost. The ancient hieroglyphs, those beautiful picture-like symbols, became silent. No one could understand them anymore. The stories of the pharaohs, the prayers to the gods, the records of battles, all were forgotten. That is, until the Rosetta Stone was found. The year was 1799. French soldiers, led by Napoleon Bonaparte, were digging in the small town of Rosetta near the Nile River. One of the soldiers struck something hard with his shovel. It was a large, dark slab of stone, covered in strange writing. The stone had 3 different scripts, Greek at the bottom, a middle section in an Egyptian script called demotic, and at the top, the mysterious hieroglyphs. The soldiers did not know it yet, but they had just uncovered the key to unlocking Egypt's lost language. The Rosetta Stone was created in 196 BC, during the reign of King Ptolemy V. The text on the stone was a decree, a message from the priests of Egypt, praising the young king for his kindness and generosity. It declared that Ptolemy V was a beloved ruler, a god among men, and listed all the good things he had done for the temples and the people. But why write the same message in 3 different languages? Because Egypt at that time was a land of many tongues. The Greek rulers, the Egyptian priests, and the common people all spoke and wrote differently. The stone was meant to be read by everyone. For years, scholars tried to crack the code of the hieroglyphs. They knew Greek, so they could read the bottom part of the stone. The middle part, demotic, was also eventually understood because it was a simpler form of Egyptian writing. But the hieroglyphs at the top remained a mystery. Some believed they were just sacred symbols, not real writing. Others thought each picture stood for a whole word. Then came a young French scholar named Jean-François Champollion. Champollion was obsessed with ancient languages. He spent years studying the Rosetta Stone, comparing the Greek text with the hieroglyphs. He noticed that certain groups of symbols appeared in the same places as the name Ptolemy in the Greek text. This was the clue he needed. He realized that some hieroglyphs stood for sounds, just like letters in our alphabet. With this discovery, he began to unlock the names of other pharaohs, like Cleopatra and Ramses. Slowly the ancient language came back to life. But the Rosetta Stone is more than just a tool for translation. Hidden within its words are legends of the gods and kings. The decree speaks of Ptolemy V as a divine ruler, chosen by the gods to bring peace and prosperity. It tells of his coronation, where the priest placed the crown upon his head, and the gods blessed his reign. This was not just politics. It was a sacred act, a moment when the heavens touched the earth. The stone also hints at older myths. The gods mentioned in the text, Horus, Isis, Osiris, were part of stories much older than Ptolemy's time. Horus, the falcon-headed god, was the protector of kings. Isis was the Great Mother, the goddess of magic. Osiris, her husband, was the lord of the afterlife, who was killed and brought back to life. These were tales of love, betrayal, and resurrection, stories that shaped the beliefs of an entire civilization. Some say the Rosetta Stone itself carries a kind of magic. It was lost for centuries, buried in the sand, waiting for the right moment to be found. When it was uncovered, it brought back voices that had been silent for 1,000 years. It was as if the gods of Egypt had willed it to be discovered, so their stories would not be forgotten. Today, the Rosetta Stone is a symbol of knowledge and discovery. It reminds us that even the greatest mysteries can be solved, that lost languages can be found again. But it also holds deeper legends of kings who believed there were gods, of priests who spoke with the divine, and of a civilization that carved its myths into stone so they would last forever. The next time you see an image of the Rosetta Stone, remember, it is not just a rock. It is a doorway to the past, a shield against forgetting, and a testament to the power of stories. The ancient Egyptians believed words had magic, that writing something down made it eternal. In the case of the Rosetta Stone, they were right. Thousands of years later, we are still reading their words, still uncovering their legends, still listening to the whispers of the past. And who knows? Perhaps there are more stones like it, still buried, waiting to tell us their secrets. The desert sands of Egypt hide many things. The next great discovery could be just beneath the surface, ready to reveal another piece of the eternal puzzle. The Rosetta Stone was only the beginning. The legends carved in stone are far from over.